The world's richest man wanted to experience life, so he became a security guard in his own mall. That day, he was sitting at the store entrance eating lunch. A domineering clerk suddenly rushed over to drive him away, just because the clerk despised the man for looking poor and thought he was bad for business. But the next second, more than a dozen shop owners came over to pay him rent. In less than a minute, the sack the man carried was filled with several $1 million. The clerk was utterly shocked. He never imagined the man was this powerful. Just then, the man learned his daughter was coming to see him. He immediately returned to the security dormitory. The daughter brought gifts worth tens of millions to give her father, but the man gave all the gifts to his fellow guards. The daughter was furious. All these years, she had worked hard to make money, finally succeeded in starting a business, and became a CEO worth tens of millions. She could finally give her father a luxurious life, but her father always turned her down. Little did she know, the man had his own plan. Everything he had done was to train his daughter's resilience, so she would be able to inherit his billions. But his daughter didn't understand him. Furious, she planned to leave and told the man that tomorrow she would attend Harvard's investment event and hoped he could attend then. The man nodded and agreed and planned to tell her the truth at that time. After sending his daughter off, the man went to a restaurant to eat. Just as he sat down, a beautiful woman suddenly sat across from him. The beauty directly handed him a dating resume. The man was stunned. He had no idea what she was doing. The beauty also looked awkward after seeing his face. Was this man really her blind date? It turned out her parents had arranged a date for her, but she accidentally went to the wrong place and mistook the man for her blind date. The man knew it was a misunderstanding, but he didn't explain it clearly. He thought she was interesting, so he happily had a meal with her. After the meal, the man wanted to drive his luxury car to take her home, but the beauty mistakenly thought that the scooter next to the luxury car belonged to him, so she politely declined his offer. Just then, her friend came to pick her up. The man froze instantly. The beauty's best friend turned out to be his daughter. The man quickly put on his hat and hurriedly left by car. Right after that, he couldn't help but explain to his secretary. He had just gone on a date with his daughter's friend. It was simply ridiculous. The secretary also thought it was insane. The man secretly decided not to see the beauty again, but he never expected God to play a huge joke on him. The next day, the man came to attend the investment event his daughter held at Harvard. Unexpectedly, he ran into the beauty and her parents there. It turned out the beauty was a math professor at Harvard. Her mother was the administrative chair of Harvard, and her father was the chief of Harvard's security team. Her whole family came to attend this grand event. The man took the initiative to confess the truth to her. He was not the blind date her parents had arranged. He just happened to be eating at that restaurant. The beauty's parents were furious. They mocked the man for being poor and old, and still shamelessly going on a date with her. But the man stayed calm. He said there was no problem with his age, but he was not poor at all. The man casually took off a watch and handed it to them, but the ignorant parents couldn't recognize its value. But the beauty recognized it at once. It was a top collectible watch. Her mother sneered. A broken watch, no matter how expensive, couldn't be worth more than 100,000. But the beauty said the watch was worth at least 1 million. The man shook his head proudly. This watch was bought at auction for 10 million. Everyone's eyes widened instantly. Just then, a man suddenly barged into the event. He angrily walked up to the beauty and raised his hand to strike her, but he was stopped by the beauty's father. It turned out this man was named Smith. He was the beauty's original date. Smith had waited for her all afternoon, but she never showed up. Smith was unwilling to accept it, so he came to get revenge on her. The beauty's parents immediately apologized to Smith, but the beauty still refused to yield. She had long heard about this man Smith. Although Smith was very rich, he was debauched and sleazy, dating multiple girls at the same time. She would never apologize to such a man. Smith was furious. He viciously slapped the beauty across the face, but her parents didn't dare to stop him. The man immediately spoke up to stop him. He warned Smith not to hit a woman, but Smith was very scornful. The man was just a security guard. How could he interfere in his business? But the man was very composed. Although his true identity was still a secret, he had a powerful daughter. His daughter was the most powerful entrepreneur in the area. Even Smith couldn't compare to her. Smith thought the man was crazy. He immediately ordered his men to subdue the man, wanting to give him a good beating. But little did he know, the man's daughter had already arrived outside. At that moment, Smith still didn't know that he would regret today's actions for the rest of his life.